Hi, my Gemini fam. Oh my gosh, I love you. And I'm so excited that we're sitting down here today doing this little reading together. Welcome. Welcome. Aquarius season is upon us, and ooh, do I feel that being a Leo sun. Aquarius season always does interesting things to my energy, and not only that, I'm filming all of this leading up to this Leo eclipse on January 31st, solar eclipse. It's going to be, or lunar eclipse. It's going to be something else energetically. And then, of course, this February 15th, we have an Aquarius eclipse, so partial solar eclipse in your ninth house of, your philosophy, your ideas, world travel, kind of the big ticket energy. So, this month is relatively simple as far as astrology is concerned. I'm not going to get super into that. What I will say is, we have a lot. We're starting off an Aquarius season. Quickly, it is shifting into the Piscean energy, which is your 10th house of what you're doing in the world. So the double hitter of your idea of who you are in the world, what you are accomplishing. Well, that's Pisces season is preceded by Aquarius season, which is all about world travel and your sense of place and your sense of philosophy and your sense of identity. Now, I always have my little notes, almost always, that just come to me when I'm sitting thinking about different energies. And when I was sitting thinking about Gemini and letting it all settle into place, I got two little phrases: mind melting, shape shifting. That's pretty epic, right? And these cards, I'm still shuffling away. So we'll see what that brings up for you card wise. But I get the sense with Gemini that, Aquarius energy is really important for you guys. It tends to, the relationship you two have together is really interesting between air signs, your sister signs. And I do have to say that Aquarius Gemini connection is a thing all on its own. It's almost like equal opponents, or something. It's not like you are opponents. You guys tend to get along, but there's a tension between those two. You guys are both so analytical and so able to come up with questions and ideas and stories, and to live on these two different planes. You can kind of shift through different mental spaces that often I think Aquarian energy can kind of do some weird stuff with Gemini, actually. I think it's almost like it's so much air energy that it can feel really unstable, and it can cause some of this like shape-shifting feeling energy where your sense of what you thought was who you are or what you wanted is maybe a little bit less stable during Aquarius season, quite honestly. And it's almost a breath of relief when we get through the Aquarius eclipse and we come out into Pisces season, where there's a little bit more stability for that Gemini intellect. We're getting into the water, which I think helps, calm you guys down and get you into that other zone, which is of just receiving, intuitive knowing, right? So let's look at the cards here, because I did get just a vibe. It's not bad at all, Gems. Like, I'm not trying to say that there's some negative thing with you and Aquarians. Not at all. I just think that it's kind of this shape-shifting time for you. This is a time when I think you often feel the pressure of needing change, of needing to revamp yourself. And I think every time around this year, there is that pressure pushing on you. And you may be feeling it, especially because we're in this Leo Aquarius polarity eclipse cycle, and we're in the midst of it right now, and we're in that season, and it's coming up for you. Now let's look at these cards. So the first three we have, and I'm doing 3 sets of 3 again to work our way through the month and give us a sense of the energetic poles. We have the 7 of Swords, Judgment, and Death. Speaking of shape-shifting, could not come up with more appropriate cards in any sense of the word. So right away, the 7 of Swords for me is like Geminis. I think some of you have been doing stuff or in situations or in scenarios that you're kind of done with. I mean, I do know a number of Geminis. I'm quite close. 3 of my closest friends are Geminis. So maybe this is giving me a clue to this, but still, the 7 of Swords to me is often like you want to get out of something. You want to change something, you want to shift something, you want to move on from a scenario, but you feel like if you do that, you're being super sneaky and shady. Because, like, look at this guy, you know, it's like he wants to just go. He has these resources, and he just wants to get the hell out of there. And you could look at this different ways, but a lot of times with this air quality, with the Swords quality, it's all in your head. It's the way you're envisioning your departure from something. It's the way you're envisioning your need for change. Could be that you feel guilty or that you feel worried that in wanting to get the hell away from something or wanting to change something or wanting to just do something completely different, you're not allowed to for some reason. So that's, you know, for that to be the first card out tells me there is an anxiousness. There's an anxiousness for something to be clarified and shifted. However, it came out with these other 2 like major shift cards. Judgment and Death are 2 energies that are very much about getting clear answers and changing form. You know, Judgment is a green light, honestly. So for those of you waiting for answers on work or on travel or even on relationships, even on somebody who has been kind of non-committal, Judgment will give you a very clear answer. It will give you a very clear sense of what is happening next and where you are going. And I honestly feel like, you know, these 3 cards together, it's almost like this winter just kind of sucked a little bit of the life out of you. It sucked a little bit of your vision and your path forward. And when I see these 3 cards together, what I'm seeing is you coming out from under a relatively heavy period energetically where things did not feel easy or pleasant and where there was a lot, there could have been self-doubt or worry or any of those things, right? So here we have clarity though. Judgment is about coming up from the underground. It has a lot to do with Pluto. So does Death, because Death is associated with Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. These are both very Pluto, and Pluto is this energy of death and transformation. It's been hanging out in Capricorn for a number of years. Pluto has. It's still there. But this is energy of shifting out and up and open. For those of you involved with a Scorpio, by the way, they're showing up very strong here. They seem to play a role in this shift. So, and okay, can you guys leave comments for any of you Geminis out there involved with Scorpio? Because this has been like really common recently. I've been noticing that is like a really strong connection between you 2 signs, and I find it really interesting. So give me your comments below if you guys are deeply involved with Scorpios in your life, or if you're Scorpio cross-watching. What do you think about, you know, what is that? What is that? Because I'm so intrigued by it. You know, I'm not Scorpio or Gemini, so I just love watching that interplay between those 2 brilliant sides. I think you guys are both really detectives. You like to think. But anyway, back to the reading. So we have this release. We have this shift. So this is clear answer energy. And it also, you know, Death showing up is always the shedding of a skin that no longer serves you, right? It's the shedding of a lifestyle, a belief, a way of being that no longer serves you, and it just has to go. It has to go. There is no maybe. There is only absolutely. So that's coming up really strong as well. I like that there is clarity here, though. I like that there is change here because I think you guys need the change. I think you need the shift. There's almost been a stagnancy and a frustration when I'm looking at this energy. Excuse me while I have that tea. Okay, so now, so that's all happening. I think that eclipse could be really great for you, actually. I think it could really help you get some really great insights, clarity, ways to move forward. Then we hit Pisces season, right? You know, pretty soon after that eclipse happens, we're right into Pisces season. And here it is, it's showing up. So this is all intuition. This is not intellectual. This is not these three energies here, Eight of Swords, High Priestess, Four of Cups, will strip you of your ability to think about things in pros and cons lists or in intellectual ways or in terms of practicality, right? So the Eight of Swords, this has been a really popular energy in February, and I do think there's a reason why, which is that we need to get in touch with our intuitive sense, all of us. But the Eight of Swords is always telling you, it makes you feel trapped. It can make you feel like you can't move, you can't see. You could get really frustrated in this, especially because it's coming right after you get an answer for something, a green light for something, or a realization about something. You know, this is getting the truth about a situation or getting an answer about a job or a relationship that you've needed. But then funny thing happens. This comes out, this Eight of Swords, which is slowing you down to stop analyzing. So it may be that, okay, you have the answer and then you want to keep analyzing it. This will stop you from doing that because look, the Eight of Swords is there, but then we jump right into this water energy. And when you get the High Priestess loves the Eight of Swords because the Eight of Swords stops you from moving and makes you listen to her wisdom, the intuitive wisdom of water, which does not come about from engaging with the material world. This High Priestess will come out and show of herself in our dreams, in our meditation, in being in nature, in the release of the mental cycle. She appears with that wisdom when we are in that much more sacred, relaxed space. So there's some kind of download you need to get that follows up from this external aha or this mental aha into this. And this is, the Four of Cups as well is telling me, like, you may think things should be going a different way than they are. You may think you get your answer, and then there may be a period of waiting or there may be a period of deliberation after you get that answer where you have to listen to your intuition so that you know how you want to act based on what these answers, these new shifts in perspective, this new shift in identity means for you. Because you could really easily you have the shift within yourself about what your identity is. Then what do you do with it? Well, the next step is you have to integrate that. And that's where this water energy is really important. So the Four of Cups is, you may think things should be going a different way. Maybe this identity shift, this shift in knowledge, this shift in what's going on in your life, this answer that you're getting about relationships or work or your self-worth, whatever it is, it may feel really uncomfortable. That's what this is saying. And that you may feel like, yeah, it should be going a different way. Why is it happening this way? But the thing is that it's the mechanics of sometimes delivering what you want can feel uncomfortable because the rule is, if you listen to anything, you can listen to Abraham Hicks or you can listen to Alan Watts. There's a lot of different schools of thought that will tell you that nature and vibrations take the path of least resistance always. Alan Watts likes to talk about water going downhill. It's not going to be circuitous and go all around and around and around, and it's going to find the quickest path down, even if it is destructive and scary. And not that I'm saying that this month is going to be destructive and scary for you guys, by the way. That's just water doing its thing. But sometimes, when we've asked for change, like when we've asked for a new career or a new relationship or for something to shift, that's really important to us. And it's a real request. It's a real desire. The way it comes about, it does come sometimes in very intense waves of reality. It comes in very intense senses. It comes in ways that maybe we could never have perceived because it's the most efficient way to get you from where you were to where you wanted to be. And that can be really uncomfortable. So when I see the Four of Cups, this is giving you a break to integrate whatever it is so that you can intuitively understand what you need to do next. So that you can intuitively and physically and emotionally understand what this skin shedding is over here. Because when judgment and death show up, you're not just playing around and like lightheartedly saying, oh, I think I'll start exercising Or, oh, I think I'll start, applying for new jobs, or, oh, I think I'll tell that person I like them. This is stuff like, oh, I realized that I didn't value my time and energy enough, and that's why I've been stuck in any number of scenarios, right? Oh my gosh, I mean, that's just not small fry. That's stuff that is going to take some time to sink in, and intuitively you're going to have to make some decisions here about what that means next. Intuitively, you're getting more information, because that's the thing. You get slowed down, you get pulled into this watery Piscean energy that asks you to do some soul, just to relax and listen into the intuitive. That's bringing you the answers you need, though, because then there's action. The end of the month ends with Geminis doing some things, making some changes. So there's a whole process here. You get the aha moment, you get the clarifying moment, you go deep, you have your fog, you sit with the water, you sit with the intuitive, then you act. Page of Swords, Knight of Wands, Seven of Wands ends out this reading. And this is powerful stuff. So Page of Swords. Pages always bring news, right? And this is great for you guys. The Page of Swords I often kind of associate with Gemini, like that willingness to try things out, ask questions, and say what's on your mind with that blunt, playful side of yourself that you have. The Page of Swords, though, is bringing in the right action for you, the right next step. That's what this is doing. And so you come out of this water with the answer you need. And that's when you can utilize this sword to its greatest advantage. And you can actually, this could really be the beginning of the active changes that you wanted to make in your life. So you have the realization, you have the conversation, you have the green light, you integrate, and then you start doing. So the end of February is really a lead into March, which is great, because I think March is going to be a high action month for you guys. I really do. I think March could be one of those months where you are doing a lot of shifting, and it's going to start at the tail end of February here with this Page of Swords. You're getting news. You're getting good news coming in that is going to be something you can act on pretty immediately. And part of the reason I say that too is because it's the Page of Swords is followed up by the Knight of Wands and the Seven of Wands. And these are action cards. These are career cards. These are movement cards. These are not energies that sit around. These are energies that are dominating and doing something, making a change, moving. Some of you are dealing with a fire sign. Knight of Wands is this playful, fiery energy that often will sweep in and shake things up and get things moving. So if you're dealing with a fire sign, they seem to be popping up only after you've had this internal time that's for you, right? Now, I also often, when I get the Knight of Wands, though, I have to say, this is often a spark. This is a spark of action in what you're doing in the world and how you're living. And this can often come in, the Knight of Wands will kind of come in like fire and cleanse things out and get you moving. So this could be a really good time for moving, for taking your relationships to the next level, for making a change in your work environment or in your health style environment. And then it leads you into the Seven of Wands. Now, Seven of Wands is kind of fun. And I think that Geminis, this is actually a really good energy for you guys. I kind of associate you with like this kind of energy. Seven of Wands is the card of higher ground, where you are at the top of your game and you are the one who has the upper hand advantage. You are on the higher ground. You are no longer here with the rebel rousers. You are up here where you want to be. It has a little bit of this playfulness to it. It has a little bit of this competitive, combative energy to it, where it's like, I can keep this at bay. I can, and so there's something here about you guys stepping into a new role. Now, this is one thing with this energy. It's a learning curve energy. So if you're suddenly up here, standing on the higher ground, or it doesn't have to be higher ground, standing in this new position, it means you're also learning how to stand in that new position. It means you're also learning a lot of new skills. You're learning how to do something completely new. When you transform your life like this, when you mind melt and shapeshift, as my note says, you get to this point where you have to learn how to wield this power, this position, this new lifestyle in such a way that makes sense for you. So I'm seeing a lot of changes, you guys, but really good, like house cleaning, life cleaning, like anything that we started with the Seven of Swords and we're ending with the Seven of Wands. And for me, that's the perfect storyline. Because the Seven of Swords, there's stuff that it's not serving you anymore. Situations are not serving you anymore. You really want the transformation. And I see you embodying that this month, the whole cycle. I mean, this month could be very intense. So get rest when you can, slow down when you can. I'm going to pull one quick card from my, okay, that card flew out, from my Cosmic Tarot, and it's the Six of Pentacles. So this is our topping off card. Six of Pentacles. This is you know what? This is a reminder to take care of your physical health, because the Six of Pentacles is all about balance, reciprocity, and level-headedness, right? This is very practical energy. So don't overdo it. You're getting all these green lights, you're getting all this information, you're going to want to just run with it and go wild. However, just make sure that you are balancing it out with some rest, some meditation, some prayer, whatever makes you feel good in the quiet space. Make sure you have those quiet spaces, because the intuitive is kind of crucial to this process for you guys. I'm really excited for this month for you all. I think it's time for that shift. I think it's time for a little bit of a revitalization, and I'm really excited for you all. So I'm wishing you all the best this February. I will be doing my moon magics, so keep posted on that. I will leave the link for this gorgeous jewelry below, because you know you want some. Pink LUNE. And keep an eye out for big changes coming up and more stuff being added to this community that we have built here. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you in March.